Good morning, everybody. Hello, Mill Watchers. I hope you're all feeling great. Happy Merry Christmas day before for you. Where's my brick wall? And there it is. Hope everybody's feeling good. I'm doing great today. I'm so glad we have a little time to spend together. And Shayna, I'm so happy to see you. I was just thinking about you. The audio earlier, oh no, the background's not there. I have to work on that. The audio earlier on is just me doing my vocal exercises. I like to do that before every show. If you get there early, you can always hear it if you want, but thank you for the heads up. How you doing? Where are you spending today? Who'd you get to see? What'd you get to do? I hope your day is full of joy and light. Let's go to the chat. There we go. There we go. Oh, maybe it's because the show hadn't officially begun yet. That's it exactly. I can see you now, too. Well, I can't really. Wouldn't that be weird, though? That'd be weird. All right, we're back. Glad to see you, Shayna. Thank you so much for watching. I know there's a little bit of a lag, so I look forward to hearing where you're writing in from. I was just thinking about you the other day, and I love the pictures that you post from last Christmas. That was fun to see. The old plushie and all the joy. It was such a fun time. And it was weird because I hadn't loved all the, I could tell I was still mad at you because I hadn't loved all the posts, even the ones that I really loved. So it was nice to go back and get a chance to do that. Glad we get to spend a little time together today. How you feeling? It's a tough one. Today's very tough. I'm going to tell you straight out, Shayna. This is, I think, the first holiday season that I can remember where I haven't been catastrophically depressed. I feel good right now. But I also feel guilty because I know how bad it feels for everybody else who's going through something like that. The only reason I bring it up is that when I was in my dark spots, I often thought that there was never a chance for a happy holiday season ever again. But I have one right now. So it's possible. So there's hope. Just want to put that out there for you and anybody who might be watching this later on. Now, Shanna, she says she's going to Pilates and hang out with her Pilates friends afterwards. Very nice. Always good to stretch out a little bit. I like ropes as much as the next guy. I hope you have a fantastic time. And I don't know if Pilates have a religious side to it, but I hope you celebrate. Oh, man, I wish I knew more Pilates jokes. Oh, I want to write Pilates Christmas jokes. The only thing I can think of is Jesus stretching on the cross, and that's not appropriate for that kind of broadcast. So anyway, this is how I'm feeling, and I want you to know there's hope. Okay, got all kinds of cool stuff for you today. I want to spin the wheel and get started. Here we go. Thanks for coming, Shayna. Means a lot to me that you're here. Here we go. I love that holiday party, too. Debbie worked so hard on those. Oh, feelings. Well, we just did that, didn't we? I'm feeling good. Yeah, go back to the chat. It's just you and me for a minute. That was a lovely holiday party, and I love all the shows that Debbie runs. Gonna have to fix that, I suppose. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about my feelings. This week I've been home with the kids. It's been great. Spending some time just playing chess with Orion and watching Christmas movies and cleaning up the house and getting things ready, just sitting in awe of Debbie as she does all these incredibly wonderful things. I think without telling anybody, she threw a Christmas party for people in the senior citizen home that she visits often because one of her former neighbors lives there and she's wonderful. So I just woke up one morning and there were hundreds of teeny tiny little cookies laying out. And I was like, what, are you making cereal? And she's like, no, I'm throwing a Christmas party for, oh, can I get some decks of cards from me? I want to give decks of cards to the, so she made all these little gift bags for strangers because she's amazing. I, on the other hand, have eaten a lot of chocolate. Not as noble, but very, very true. What have you done this holiday season to celebrate and to get ready, to keep your spirits up? It's tricky at this point. I like singing. I like this, the happy place, reading stuff. That cheers me up when I'm dark. I'm not dark, though. Can you believe it? I'm not dark. We did it. All right. Enough of this. Spin the wheel. Feels weird talking about my feelings too much. That's why you put it on. Here we go. Feelings! Yay. Wait a minute. We just did that. I don't like it when the wheel repeats. I'm going to give it 3 spins because I have that technology. Roses and... Hey, Mark's here. Good to see you, buddy. Let's go to the chat, shall we? My buddy Mark is here visiting. I believe he's still in L.A. He's one of my cruise ship friends, and I'm very glad to see you. How are you, Mark? Happy holidays. Merry Christmas Eve to you, sir. Are you still in L.A.? How you celebrating? You with family? You with your sober family? I know they like to hang out. Christmas, we were just talking, me and my buddy Shannon, we were just talking about how this time of year can be a major trigger for depression. And I know Mark, if you don't mind me telling you, I know it's supposed to be anonymous, but I know Mark has been sober for a very, very long time. He cares about it very much. And I know it can be a treatment for him, and then it can be a trigger for him and the people like him, like my family, most of them. So what are you doing to stay positive during the holidays? I'm doing this. Roses and thorns. We landed on roses and thorns. This is how this works, Mark. It's very simple. We look at the past week, and I want you to tell me a great thing that happened to you. That's the rose. And a bad thing that happened to you. That's the thorn. That's the thorn. Oh, good question. Okay, hold on. We're going to do that. Hold on. Okay, what's my secret? I have several secrets. It's still in LA and sober 15 years. Fantastic. Let me answer your question, Shana, because Mark will tell you, when I was on the ships, I was catastrophically depressed all the time. I could barely get out of my cabin, but that's a big part of it. You got to get out. Sunlight is a big part of it. If you can get sunlight in your eyes in the first 10 minutes, a little bit of lemon in your water when you first wake up in the morning helps balance out your acidity. But that made a big difference. A little bit of green tea keeps some of the toxins out. I like to have green tea after every meal. Let's see, obviously a little bit of exercise. Like at least a half hour, but you're Pilates, you're in fantastic shape, so you don't have to worry about exercise. And then lots and lots of hugs. Lots and lots and lots of hugs. Physical contact is so important to my mental well-being. You've got dogs count. Dogs totally count. More Pepper. Pepper is your fantastic dog, by the way, who I love very much, and I miss a lot. Pepper will cheer you up too. Give her lots of cuddles, lots of hugs. You know how to manipulate your brain. You know what makes you happy? Watch that movie. Watch that thing to fill your time. And gratitude. That's the single most important thing you can hold on to. Try to stay grateful even when you're at your darkest, even if you have to force it. Pretend it's Thanksgiving dinner and you're sitting there and you have to say what you're grateful for. If you could start your day like that and remind yourself of that 3-4 times a day, which you probably do anyway, it really helps. But in my case, I really think that it's just about being hugged. It's a lot about being hugged and being well rested. I think that was the big trigger for me, is just being surrounded by people I love and being well rested. So there's a lot of people who love you, but they don't get to be in the same room as you today or tomorrow. So please don't forget that you're loved. There's a lot of people that care about you, and we're thinking about you and want to see you again soon. So hopefully that helped. But gratitude, if I had to give a single answer, it'd be gratitude. Doug, all right, here we go. Next, Shana asked, that's awesome. You're feeling good. It's been a rough, it's been a rough holiday season, honestly, but I'm trying to hang in there. I might go hang out with a friend later on. He is 45 years old and recently diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. He's all alone too. We thought we could keep each other company. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer. I'd rather be a Debbie Millwater than a Debbie Downer. Debbie Millwater is my wife, for those of you that don't know, and Debbie Downer is a character from the 90s on SNL. It's not a Debbie Downer thing at all. It sounds like exactly the right thing to do. Nobody's going to be... I haven't had many friends who've been diagnosed with cancer, but I've had a few, and every single one of them, if they were positive to begin with, it made them more positive. It made them more grateful, more enthusiastic about getting as much joy out of every second of life as it possibly can. So it sounds like a good person to be around if they work that way. And if not, then they need a friend to lean on, and you're being good to them too. And being good to other people, that's a big part of it too. That's how I spent my day in the ships. I spent all day trying to open doors and get elevators and bring tea to people, stuff like that. Little things like that, but just service, acts of service really help your head stay on straight too. Mark is still in LA and chilling, still sober for 15 years. The amazing thing, Mark, 17 years old. I don't know how he does it. He got really messed up when he was 2, and then he was like, no, never again. He put down the sippy cup. He stepped away. I respect that. This dude took 12 steps before he could take 12 steps. He's young, I tell you. I got to write that down. That was fun. But no, congratulations on 15 years. I know you're feeling great, and you look fantastic. Shana said she gave too much information. You absolutely did not. That's what makes the show interesting. It's only interesting if you folks share with me. So please don't hesitate to tell me what's on your mind, and thank you. So hug deprived. Okay, Pepper, me, the kids. I guess Christine, she kind of hugs, like she's like a sideways hugger, like hip to hip, at least with me. I try not to take it personally. Craig Collin is a huge inspiration. He's not going to be here today. He's with his family too. I love Craig. Craig's a terrific guy. And not only because of the positivity, he has been training as a writer his whole life, so he knows exactly what to say the proper way to say it. It's a beautiful thing. If he needs to give somebody feedback or bad news or something called the old shit sandwich, like, hey, I like your hair. You're fat and stupid, but I like your hair. The shit sandwich, you know? And he's good at that without it making it sound crappy. I can't do that. He's fantastic. Wonderful man to be around. Very funny. Incredible hard worker, and I sincerely hope I get to go into business with him next year. We're going to have a meeting at the beginning of January and see if we can't co-produce some shows because he is so focused, so disciplined, and so wonderful to be around. Love the Craig Collin. Sorry you're hug deprived. Next up. Aw. Pepper doesn't really hug you back the way a human does. Okay. Well, a human doesn't sit on my lap anymore, you know? You get what you can. You get the thing. I love this thing. You can do that with the Pepper. You know that thing where her head's over the side and she goes right in your ear? That makes me so happy every single time. You ought to try that. Merry Christmas Eve, spring. But you got to get the hugs. Debbie Millwater does give the best hugs. I knew I was going to love Debbie the very first time she ever hugged me, and that is a fact. We were strangers. She didn't give me a handshake. She gave me a hug, and the hug felt like magic, and we've been married for 20 years. And that was back in college. Julia's here. Yay! How you doing, Julia? We were just talking with my buddy Shayna and with my buddy Mark. Now, Mark is sober. We were talking about. Mark is sober, and I know you work with the sober folks quite a bit and people in recovery. I know it's a tough time of year for them. Do you have any tricks for trying to keep people positive, for trying to keep people feeling good, keep them in their happy place? I'd be very curious to know as you're a professional. And happy holidays to you and Yorick if you get to talk to him. Craig Collins is fantastic. Not all hugs are created equally. How true that is. Merry Christmas Eve to you, Spring. I want to plan the show shit sandwich. Yeah, that's just what I call that's just what I was taught in a management book somewhere. This is already 5 times more people than I expected to be here. This is probably the longest chat we've had on this show. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for spending this time with me on this special day. This is great. Yes, Debbie does give the best hugs. And I got a million hugs for you, Shayna, every time I see you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and read something now because I enjoy it so much. But keep typing. The chat stays on the screen. Let's spin the wheel real quick. Whoop, pick a fight. This is fun. All right, I've never done this before. Back to the chat chalet. Okay. Here's the deal, folks. I'm up here. Here's the deal. Get down. Oh, that hurts the old neck. Here's the deal. I have a friend of mine. Yay, snugglers. Oh, I miss snuggling. Snuggling's great. You can get hugs from strangers, but you can't get snuggles from strangers. Okay, miss snuggles. All right. No offense to Pepper taken, I'm sure. Here's how it works. A friend of mine, Jordan Sentry, don't want to drop names, but I know that guy. Jordan Sentry says he has better engagement online when he says something controversial or if people can argue about something. So I would like to have an argument. I'm just going to pick a fight. I will pick some point of view, and you guys can try to take the opposite side. This is a new feature. Let's try it. Okay, here's my first thought. I think riding horses is wrong. I don't like it. The saddling, the owning, the slavery, one animal on top of another animal just looks really, really wrong. It's morally wrong. It's kind of gross. We got scooters now. We got those little hover, the hover things. So why do we need to ride a horse? What do you think? Oh, Brian Briscoe! Oh my God, he's here. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my dear friends, Brian Briscoe, somebody I meet who I wish would come here every Sunday. Somebody who I used to do a TV show with, Real Americans with Butch and Skeeter. I played Butch, he played Skeeter. One of the funniest dudes I know, and I miss you a lot. How you doing, broski? Merry melodies. Merry melodies? Merry Christmas, happy holidays, or whatever it is you're enjoying today. Happy Sunday. First time here, I think. Thanks for coming. What you up to, bud? Are you in Charlotte today or are you working? I know a lot of folks, I don't know if you're still working in transportation, but a lot of folks have to work. Stuff still needs to get there. Oh, this is fantastic. This is the best turnout I've had for this show yet. How are you, Brian? Hey, listen, since I have your attention for a second, come on Sundays. I've invited you. We got this writers group on Sunday. I'm not supposed to talk about it in public, so I only talk about it on the stream where there's nobody watching. Shh. But it's on Sundays. It's wonderful. It's getting to be a better group every week, and I'd really like you to come if you possibly can, because I think it'd be good for you to be in the room with these people. These are good people. All right. Ooh, hey, here we go. We got some more information. Julia's here. I don't know about tricks, but I think focusing on staying connected with people who are supportive is key. No! Yorick and I are no longer together amicably. It's fine. Do you and your family have holiday plans? Oh, this is okay. I'm going to take a moment just to mourn this real quick. I'm happy that you're happy. I'm glad it's amicable. All right, when I first started my streaming adventure three years ago, something like that, it was right after the podcast blew up. I had to figure out something that I could do on my own, so I put this thing together. But I was so shell-shocked at the time, I did it as a character, right? So I did it as Butch Hockersmith. It was the Real American Streaming Experience. It was on Twitch. And the only person who's been in this room yet who I have not met personally has been Julia. So it makes me very happy. But Julia, for a long time, was in love with a fellow Yorick. He was from Poland. So I got to see America from a Polish perspective. We got to talk about them being together in the adventures. And now I get to be around at last for the end. I'm glad it's amicable. And I'm sure you're both going to move on to find happy love. But still, here's to you. I'm glad you loved. Oh, okay. Oh, how thoughtful of you to ask if I have holiday plans. We do not. This is the first year we're staying home. We got a Christmas tree. We got Die Hard 1 and 2 all loaded up and ready to go. We're going to spend all day tomorrow baking and opening presents and lounging around in our pajamas and just being a family and living the dream. Really, I'm so lucky. It's going to be like a Norman Rockwell painting tomorrow. If it all goes well. We'll see. I don't want to take it for granted, but just the idea of going home just makes me so happy right now. Okay, that's my plan. Also, feeling laugh-deprived, well, I got you covered. Shayna says she's laugh-deprived. She's not going to as many comedy shows as you like. I need to go to more comedy shows and laugh more. Couldn't agree more. You can also watch, don't forget, there's lots and lots and lots of comedy on television and YouTube. That's what I've been watching. I've been going down a David Letterman hole. There's dozens and dozens of hours of the old Dave Letterman show. I highly recommend the staff picks. That's where the interns and the writers and the producers, each person picks their 5 favorite moments in the show, and then they show them. I've been watching it for weeks and laughing very, very, very hard by myself, if you can imagine that. I've also been getting the James Acaster. I like him a lot. He's got 4 specials on the Netflix. He's cute. I think you'd like him. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I'm not being funny today. It's not the thing here. I miss you too, bro. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Brian. Getting your bake on. I didn't even know you knew how to bake. What you making? Making anything good? Snickerdoodles? Yes, sir. I mean it. Got you. Been meaning to come. I sincerely hope you do. I miss you. I never get to see you. Brian? Absolutely. Shayna says, hi, Brian Briscoe. She's a big fan. Comedy fans know Brian Briscoe. Any upcoming shows at the Comedy Zone for local comedy? There is nothing on the books yet. Thanks for asking. Hi, Brian Briscoe. I always love seeing you. You are so friendly and also hilarious. Where are you performing soon? Great question. Thank you. Shannon wanted to know if I celebrated Christmas, Hanukkah, or both. I celebrate Christmas, and I celebrated 2 days of Hanukkah because those were the 2 evenings that my wife was available at sundown. My wife's not Jewish. I am not Jewish, but my wife's father is Jewish, so she grew up celebrating Hanukkah, and I love short religious ceremonies of almost all kinds, so I celebrate it. I love it. We play dreidel. And I have a new one. I'm very excited. Next time I meet somebody who's Jewish, I'm going to say to him, hey, buddy, may all your dreidels come up Gimel. That's going to be my greeting for Jews from now on. Hey, may all your dreidels come up Gimel. That's the good one. That's the one that means you win. Ooh, making a pound cake. Several shows coming down the pike. Julia, sounds like a lovely time. Thank you so much for saying so, Julia. Shana wants to know, are there any upcoming shows? We talked about that. Pound cake and hot potato salad. But why? Hot mayonnaise makes you die. You sure it's not mashed potatoes? You might just be making potatoes au gratin, man. You double check the name of that. Let's spin the wheel. Okay. Keep on typing, folks. Don't forget your roses and thorns. I'm getting too easily distracted. Wisdom. Let's head on down, see if we can't learn something. All right, we were on an Alan Watts kick, I believe, so let us pick one. Here we go. Chris Mahana Kwanzaa, right back at you. Ooh, hold on. There we go. That was bothering me. Okay, we're set to go. Natural laws know no pity. I don't even know who said that, so forget it. All right, hold on. Here we go. The life of this world is only the enjoyment of deception. That's wisdom from the Quran. One more. Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in their hearts. That's wisdom from the Quran. But I wanted to do Alan Watts. Let's do this. My soul is from everywhere. I'm sure of that. And I intend to end up there. That's wisdom from Rumi. Silence is the language of God. All else is poor translation. That's wisdom from Rumi. I like Rumi. All right, we had some more stuff. Let's go back to the chat. This is so nice. Shannon, you always do such a great job of asking questions. Thanks, Mervyn. Okay. German. First up, German hot potato salad. Okay, that doesn't make it better. You understand that, right? It makes it worse. Yeah, oh, here's a nice German recipe. We're going to put something in an oven. Doesn't belong there. That's not appropriate. Potato salad is cold. And Germans, I'm watching you. Next up, Shannon said, are Charlotte Rose and Orion on Santa's naughty list or night list? Holy crap, let me tell you about these kids. Orion is a straight A student and a delight. He's gotten into no trouble that I'm aware of, so either he's being good all the time or he's really, really smart about it. Either one works for me. He's kind, and even when he's going through emotional stuff, his hormones are messing with him. He's 13. What the hell are you going to do? He finds a way to be kind. He's one of my favorite people in the world. I love spending time with him. He is awesome. Charlotte is pretty standoffish right now. She spends a lot of time in her room watching YouTube. And when she does come out, she's very, very goofy and very, very high energy and makes a lot of funny faces and very silly and like she's had too much sugar, because she probably has. But she's silly and she's hyper, but she's not unkind. She's not cruel. She's sweet, and when she needs to be, she is a delight. I can't. My kids are so not naughty. It boggles my mind. I'm naughtier than my kids. They're wonderful. They're wonderful, wonderful people, and I hope they have a fantastic Christmas because they deserve it. They're great. Thanks for asking. I think that was the last question on that. Let's spin the wheel. Acapella. All right, let's go to the theater. We'll see. Campfire. We'll sing a little song. See if I can find anything that's appropriate for the season. Probably not. Let's see. Now here's You'll Be Okay by Great Big World. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. The sun will rise to better days, and change will come. It's on its way. Just close your eyes and let it rain, 'cause you're never alone, and I will always be there to just carry on. You will understand. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Just look inside, you know the way. Let it go, fly away, and say goodbye to yesterday. 'Cause you're never alone, and I will always be there. You just carry on. You'll understand when love is gone, and I'll carry on. You'll be okay. I'm calling it. I blew that song horribly. Let us go back to the chat. Good sentiment, didn't know the words. Let's never speak of that again. Ooh, here we got a whole bunch of stuff. This is exciting. All right. Nice. Oh, Shayna has lots of information. Now, Shayna says she watched Christian Johnson's comedy special on YouTube this weekend. I'm so happy for his success. I knew he had a special gift when I saw him for the first time in 2017. I'm a big fan. Me too. Everybody's posting that they saw Christian Johnson's YouTube special. I haven't seen it yet because I haven't seen a link. I keep on meaning to go watch it, but I'll put that on the list for everybody. Once a week in our little writing group, we have sort of a watching assignment. We'll make it Christian Johnson so we can all get on the same page. Christian's been amazing. I've known him since he was an open micer. I remember the very first time I saw him perform, he was auditioning to be in Debbie's residency group a few years back, like 4 or 5, something like that. And I think there were 10 comics. He crushed from the beginning to the end. He had, from what I recall, he had no jokes at the time. Just pure charm. Just pure charm. He crushed. And then he went like 4 minutes over, which is a very, very big deal, especially in an audition type situation. So I'm the one to set him down and say, listen, man, you can't do that. We all heard him laugh. We know it's good, but you can't. I mean, we kind of got to disqualify you, but he still got in, and then he got better and better. And I'll tell you, let me say this about Christian Johnson's fans. Christian Johnson, at least on Facebook, has the most responsive fans I've ever seen in my life. I've been working for 25 years. I've never had people post a thumbs up and 100% and a strong, pale, white arm. Nothing. He gets those 50 a time every time he says something. It's so exciting. I need fans like that. It's the coolest. Now, Brian said, what's my favorite non-Christmas Christmas movies? Besides Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Gremlins, Color Purple. I'm totally on board with Lethal Weapon. Very Christmas movie and a very good movie. Lethal Weapon, Gremlins, I love it. I was going to do the monologue by the Phoebe Cates Santa monologue. I'm going to put that on next week's monologue wheel, and I'm going to do that one. I love Gremlins. And The Color Purple, I haven't yet seen. I don't feel great about it, but I haven't checked it out yet. Brian agrees. Christian Johnson is awesome. Oh, here's something else, Shanna. Christian says, Christian is also very kind and humble, and he just seems like he's a really good person, too. He is. He's straight up fantastic. He's a lovely man. Please tell your kids I said hello. I certainly will. I'll tell them tonight when I get home. All right, we're all up to speed. Let's spin the wheel. Man, that song. I feel so bad. I bet you Briscoe left. Usually my songs are great, but I wasn't familiar enough. And well, good enough, not great, but, you know, enough to keep it moving. Pick a fight. We already tried that. Didn't work. Nobody took the opposite side. Here we go. Time for some Shakespeare. Let's go to the Shakespeare stage. Just doing my live stream. Doing some Shakespeare. Didn't know anybody was coming. We got a guest in the studio right now. Fair enough. Sorry for anything embarrassing that you witnessed while you're working. All right, here we go. We've been making our way through the sonnets. We've done it all the way once. We are now, I believe, on sonnet number 5. So let's see if I can find that, and we'll give it a shot. I need to download some more non-sonnet Shakespeare poems, because he wrote a whole bunch of stuff, and I hate to repeat stuff. All right, so we were up to sonnet number 5. Nope, number 4. My mistake. This is sonnet number 4 by William Shakespeare. Unthrifty loveliness, why dost thou spend upon thyself thy beauty's legacy? Nature's bequest gives nothing, but doth lend, and being frank, she lends to those are free. Then, beauteous lady, why dost thou abuse the bounteous largesse given thee to give? Profitless usurer, why dost thou use so great a sum of sums, yet canst not live? For having traffic with thyself alone, thou of thyself, thy sweet self, dost deceive. Then how, when nature calls thee to be gone, what acceptable audit canst thou leave? Thy unused beauty must be tombed with thee, which, used, lives the executor to be. Nice. Hey, Steph's here. Let's go back to the chat. Oh, here we go. We got some more stuff. Now, Shayna, oh, no color purple. I don't even know who you are anymore. Well, I saw red and I saw blue. One of them was about retired and dangerous people. And the other one, I think, was porn. The point is, I haven't seen the color purple yet. Is it funny? I heard it wasn't funny. I just got it right. I didn't know it was Christmas either. I'll check it out. Oh, hey, Shanna says she loves Gizmo. I just don't like it when they turn into gremlins, right? I got the same problem myself. I mean, I turn into a gremlin when it's no good. Brian has the same problem. Stephanie's here. For those you don't know, this is Stephanie. This is my sister from the same mister, different moms, same dad. How are you, Stephanie? I'm so glad you had a chance to come in and visit today. I know you must be busy with your family. I'm so happy to see you, and I hope you're well. Shane, I wanted to know, are you going to be doing some open mics? I wish there was still, I have a little problem, an open mic at Penthouse. I always enjoyed that, and I remember you participated in some of them. I loved the Penthouse open mic. What the challenge at Penthouse was for me is I wanted to do a new 10 minutes every 2 weeks. That was my challenge at Penthouse, and I was able to do it for a little while, but I was still going through a whole lot of emotional problems back. I am, obviously, but I was going through a lot of problems where I didn't want to reach out. He gave me a standing spot. So every 2 weeks I was there. I didn't have to send an email and say, man, please play your open mic. It was there. It was ready to go. It was just expected that I would do the work. I did the work, and I loved it. I think I will be participating in more open mics this year. First of all, because I love so many people in the comedy scene. I get to be friends with a lot of them here at the table, which makes me very happy. I think they're all wonderful. Not all of them, but a lot of them are really, really wonderful, so I like to be around them. And my son can babysit now. He's just old enough to keep him safe for a few hours while I do it. So yes, I think I will be doing some open mics this year, and I hope to see you there. Brian's smiling. Oh, it's not a smile. I think he's still mad about color purple. It's all right. It's okay. Sorry. I had tickets for the musical, but Debbie was sick. She was pregnant with Orion at the time, and she got sick, so we couldn't go see the musical. I didn't make it a point to not watch The Color Purple. If The Color Purple was on the TV, I wouldn't change the channel. I just haven't sought it out yet, and I hope that you won't judge me too harshly. I'm sure I can name some movies you haven't seen. Have you seen Brazil? With Jonathan Price and Robert De Niro, directed by Terry Gilliam, set in a post-apocalyptic 1984 type world where bureaucracy gets out of control? I have. Just an example. All right, enough of that foolishness. Let's spin the wheel. Feelings. All right, let's go figure out my feelings. Well, I already did my feelings twice. Let's see, we've done some wisdom. Haven't done a monologue or a short story or a poem. Joke! All right, cool. Let's go down to the comedy club. Let's see if I can't find one for you. Two snakes are hanging out with each other. One snake says to the other snake, "Hey, are we poisonous?" First snake says, "Why?" "I bit my lip." What did the green grape say to the purple grape? Breathe! Breathe! Man goes into the vegetarian. A man goes into the veterinarian's office. He says, "I think my fish has seizures." The doctor says, "He seems fine now." Guy says, "Yeah, but wait till I take him out of the bowl." A fish was abused in that joke. An old farmer is inconsolable after his dog goes missing. His wife suggests he takes out an ad in the paper, which he does, but 2 weeks later, there's still no sign of the dog. "Well, what did you write in the ad?" his wife says. "I wrote, 'Here, boy!'" It's an old farmer joke. I love it. All right, let's go back to the chat. Now, Spring asked me, "Is there any chance that I will be in the Raleigh area in 2024? Golly, I wish I could. I absolutely love the comedy club in Raleigh that I claim to love and can't think of the name of. My apologies. Give me just a moment. It's coming back to me. I broke the sign there once. Good Nights. Used to be Charlie Good Nights. Now it's just Good Nights. Love to play there. And I understand there's an improv there in town, too. I'd love to play there, too. I don't have anything on the books yet. I'm not really seeking bookings right now. I'm accepting what comes my way. If somebody contacts me and says they want me at a gig, I'll probably say yes. But I'm not doing the whole please book me once a month thing that most comics do. So we'll see how that works out. But I think you should come to Charlotte because I book shows there all the time, especially next year when you see Johnny Millwater Presents. That's my annual extravaganza. I highly recommend that being the one show you see in the year. Thanks for asking. Oh, Shayna, you're still one of the funniest comedians. I always love your performance. You're a pro. Shayna, you're just the greatest. Thank you so much for, you know what I'm talking about. See, when you give that kind of positivity to other people, it makes you feel good too. It's the circle of joy, and I'm so glad that you're a part of it. Thank you, Shayna. And Briscoe, I miss you. Shayna's right. I miss you. All right, let's spin the wheel. Come on. Short story. Or monologue. I added a whole bunch of those. Poem. All right, let's go down to the poetry corner. Here we go. Let's see. We were doing some Robert Frost, I believe. Oh, wait, Shayna's here. Let's do some Shell. I love doing Shel Silverstein because Shayna enjoys it. So do I. I'm having a great time on TikTok, by the way. I've had two of my little clips go over up 100,000. One of them was just me reading a meme about rats, and the other one was the Norm Macdonald moth joke. But been getting lots of feedback and feeling good about getting it done. So let's do, there we go, orchestra, fish, falling up, little pig's treat. Here we go. This is little, oh, hold on, it's not loading yet. We're running into some technical problems. Do you have any favorite poems? Don't forget, you can always write them to me in the DMs, and I will read them for you. Very happy to share them with you. Okay. This is Morgan's Curse by Shel Silverstein. Following the train on the old treasure map, I came to the spot that said dig right there. At 4 feet down, my spade struck wood, just where the map said a chest would appear. But carved in the side were written these words: a curse upon he who disturbs this gold. Signed, Morgan the Pirate, Scourge of the Seas. I read these words and my blood ran cold. So here I sat upon untold wealth, trying to find which is worse. How much do I need this gold? And how much do I need this curse? Shel Silverstein rules. Let's do another one. This is The Edge of the World by Shel Silverstein. Columbus said the world is round. Don't you believe a word of that. For I've been down to the edge of the world, sat on the edge where the wild wind whirled, peeked over the ledge where the blue smoke curls. And I can tell you, boys and girls, the world is flat. I don't actually believe that. I'm just putting that on there. Nice. All right, back to the chat. Yay! Just something nice about reading Shel Silverstein. I love it too. And don't forget to make requests if you got anything you'd like to hear me read, song, lyrics, poems, great speeches. You know what? I've downloaded a whole bunch of really great stuff, and I would like to share something with you right now. A series of short stories. I'll be doing one for the next 3 weeks. And these series of short stories were written by the brilliant Norm Macdonald. Now, I warn you, these aren't all funny. Some of them are very dark. But I enjoyed all of them, so I would like to share them with you. Let's go to the theater. And these are kind of a longer pieces, so settle in. But I think they're great. This is The Wish by Norm Macdonald. Hold on, I got to fix something here real quick. These are clips from his book entitled Based on a True Story, which sounds like it would be a sort of a autobiography, but in fact, was the best comic novel ever written. So I'll be very happy to share this with you now. The Wish. The Wish. The Wish by Norm MacDonald. The boy was alive 9 years, which made him young, but he would only be alive for 1 more year, which made him old. He was in a sad situation, and he had a wish that he needed my help to realize. It was a simple wish, to meet me and follow me around the day at the Saturday Night Live TV show. As final wishes go, it seemed like a damn poor one. That's why I was walking down a dim green hospital corridor that fine cold New York afternoon, instead of being where I should have been, pitching my hysterical answering machine sketches to Lorne Michaels for the following Saturday. But there are more things important than television programs. I knew that. I knew that dragging a terminally ill child around the studio for a whole day was sure to make me the laughingstock of my coworkers, and who could potentially get me fired, but sometimes you have to look at the big picture. The truth was, I had not lived an upright life, what with the shoplifting, the adultery, the taking of the Lord's name in vain, the coveting of my neighbor's ox. God damn it, I love that ox. He didn't answer any of my countless prayers. I needed to do something exceptionally selfless to even up the books come Judgment Day, and keep me from the devil's grasp for all eternity. Making this boy's wish come true seemed like it just might do the trick. I don't much like hospitals, and I said as much when I met the boy's physician. Yeah, may as well know, Doc, I'm no fan of diseases, and I'll never understand filling a whole building with them. What are you, an idiot? Said the doctor. Yeah, I'm an idiot, all right. An idiot just like Albert Einstein. I'll have you know that I'm Norm MacDonald, and I work on the television program Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live? That show hasn't been funny since Bill Murray left. A crowd was beginning to form, which was perfect for me since I was a stand-up comedian. I decided I would put this doctor in his place. If you think it's so easy being funny, Doc, then why don't you tell us all a joke? So he did. And it was one of the funniest jokes I'd ever heard. I'll never forget it. His timing was flawless. By the end of the joke, everyone around was laughing hard, and I started to laugh too, in spite of myself. But then I got angry because I realized that he was making me look small. So I took a swing at him, but I missed by a good foot or so, and ended up knocking over an old man who was pushing some futuristic contraption that roller on wheels and was attached to his right arm by a thin tube. I bent down to apologize because I felt that the accident was partially my fault. And that's when the doctor kicked me heavy in the ribs. I can mend 'em, but I can bust 'em up too, he said. And that got another big laugh. Everybody thinks they're a comedian, especially in my line of work. I lay there gasping as the doctor recounted a few hilarious anecdotes, and once the laughing crowd dispersed, he started telling about the boy I was visiting and his illness. He used a lot of big words. He was still clearly determined to make me look small, so I interrupted him. Okay, I get the idea, Doc. You went to school. I only got one question for you. This thing you got, is it contagious? No, it's not contagious, he said softly. He looked me in the eye and shook his head at me, all sad and weary. He's just a poor, brave child who hasn't got much time. I noticed a tear as it made its way down his cheek. He wasn't such a tough guy anymore, or so funny either. That's what separates professional funny men like me from bums like that doctor. I crashed into the boy's room with a big smile. Around his bed, nurses and orderlies and a couple of doctors gathered, and they all held clipboards and looked solemn. Death is a funny thing. Not funny ha-ha like a Woody Allen movie, but funny strange like a Woody Allen marriage. When it's unexpected, death comes fast like a ravenous wolf and tears open your throat with merciful fury. But when it's expected, it comes slow and patient like a snake, and the doctor tells you how far away it is and when exactly it will be at your door, and when it will be at the foot of your bed, and when it will be on your flesh. It's all right there on their clipboards. The room was filled with all kinds of whirring and beeping and ringing. Would somebody turn that doggone noise down? I shouted. Of course, I knew that those noises were coming from machines they were using to keep the boy alive, but I also knew I had to make a big entrance, and I didn't want to disappoint. Only the boy laughed, which was fine with me because he was the most important one there, besides me. I told everyone to scram so I could have a word with the boy alone. "How you feeling, son?" "How do you think I'm feeling, Einstein?" I was genuinely touched the boy knew I was considered a genius at Saturday Night Live. He had clearly done his research, but his comment also reminded me I had to get back to Rockefeller Center and convince Lauren to put my answering machine sketch on the air that week. "Well, we'll see you later, kid. I just wanted you to let you know I'm happy to make your wish come true before you. Do you swear to God you'll make my wish come true, Norm?" "Oh, I don't think that'll be a good idea." "Look at me, Norm." I couldn't help but comply, and as I looked at the boy, a curious tenderness overtook me. "I swear to God." "Good," the boy said, "because I have a very different wish." "Please don't tell me to take you to the show for 2 days." "I don't want to go to the show at all, Norm. It hasn't been funny since Bill Murray left." "Well, then why'd you choose me?" "Because you are a Canadian citizen." I was confused. "Son, I don't understand. What's your wish, and what does that anything have to do with me being Canadian?" The boy looked at me directly, and I could see the tears fill his eyes. He spoke softly, his voice quavering and unsteady. "I want to kill a baby seal." Nice. How about that, folks? How about the brilliant Norm Macdonald, everybody? I want to know what happens next, and we'll find out next week right here on this program. How about that? Back to the chat. We got people. Very, very nice. Let's see. John says, "Have a very Merry Christmas." Thank you very much. Debbie and my awesome family. Thank you very much, John. Same to you. I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for coming and saying hello. Any requests? We're just passing the time. Let me know. All right, let's spin the wheel. I think everybody left during the Norm part, but they're wrong because that part was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Part 2 is where he goes and clubs the baby seal. I might read that today, too. I really enjoyed it. Monologue, finally. All right, let's go to the theater, do a monologue. I had all kinds of monologues. Got humorous monologues. I got inspiring monologues. I got movie monologues. Knuckles, you're not here, are you? I got one just for Tony Knuckles. He requested Patton, so that's ready to go when he comes back. But until then, let's do... Whoop, I lost it. Let's do a Jon Stewart. I went down a rabbit hole last week on a site called American Rhetoric, and I found a couple things that I really enjoy. I'm a big, big fan of Jon Stewart, especially his Daily Show. I watched it pretty much every single episode of the entire series. This is his goodbye speech. This is when Jon left the show. This is his speech to America to help you remember what's important. Bullshit is everywhere. There is very little that you will encounter in life that has not been in some ways infused with bullshit. Not all of it bad. General day-to-day organic free-range bullshit is often necessary, or at the very least, innocuous. "Oh, what a beautiful baby." I'm sure he'll grow into that head. The kind of bullshit in many ways provides important social contract fertilizer that keeps people from making each other cry all day. But then there's the more pernicious bullshit. Your premeditated institutional bullshit designed to obscure and distract. Designed by whom? The bullshit talkers. Comes in 3 basic flavors. 1, making bad things sound like good things. Organic, all-natural cupcakes because factory-made sugar oatmeal balls doesn't sell. Patriot Act because are you scared enough to let me look at all your phone records act doesn't sell. Whenever something's been titled freedom, fairness, family, health, and America, take a good long sniff. Chances are it's been manufactured in a facility that may contain traces of bullshit. Number 2, the second way, hiding the bad mountains of bullshit complexity. You know, I would love to download Drizzy's latest Meek Mill diss. Everybody promised me that made sense. But I'm not really interested right now in reading Tolstoy's iTunes agreement, so I'll just click agree even if it grants ample prima nocta with my spouse. Here's another one. Simply put, banks shouldn't be able to bet your pension money on red. Bullshitly put, it's this. Hey, Dodd-Frank, hey, a handful of billionaires can't buy our elections, right? Of course not. They can only pour unlimited anonymous cash into a 501c4 if 50% is donated to issue education. Otherwise, they'd have to 501c6 it or funnel it openly through a non-campaign coordinating super PAC with a quarter. I think they're asleep now. We could sneak out. And finally, it's the bullshit of infinite possibility. These bullshitters cover their unwillingness to act under the guise of unending inquiry. We can't do anything because we don't know everything. We cannot take action on climate change until everyone in the world agrees gay marriage vaccines won't cause our children to marry goats who are going to come for our guns. Until then, I say teach the controversy. Now, the good news is this. Bullshitters have gotten pretty lazy, and their work is easily detected. And looking for it is kind of a pleasant way to pass the time, like an I spy of bullshit. So I say to you, friends, the best defense against bullshit is vigilance. So if you smell something, say something. That's wisdom from Jon Stewart. God, he's good. Him and his writers, mostly him. All right, let's check the status. I haven't heard anything in the chat for a while. That's because, we still got 2 viewers. Welcome. All right, cool. Let's spin the wheel. Joke! Yay, to the comedy club. See if I can find you another one you haven't heard before. Okay, I think I got it. And Jon Stewart's a brilliant writer. I'm glad you enjoyed it too. Thanks for sticking in there. You're on a horse. You're being chased at full speed by a lion, and there's a giraffe in the way in front of you. How do you escape this highly dangerous situation? Get off the carousel. Another one? You got it. A couple of cockroaches are munching on the contents of a garbage can in a deserted alley. Have you popped into that new coffee shop across the street yet? Asked one. The floors are so shiny you can see your antenna in them. The walls are so clean you can't run up them. The air is so fresh it smells like flowers. Stop! Cries the second cockroach. Stop! Not while I'm eating. Yeah. Nice. One more? You got it. The police are called to an apartment to find a woman standing over a lifeless man holding a bent and twisted 5-iron. The detective asks, "Is that your husband?" "Yes," replies the woman. "Did you hit him with that golf club?" "Yes, I did," sobs the woman. "How many times did you hit him?" "I don't know," she replies. 5, 6, maybe 7 times. Put me down for 5. There you go. 3 jokes for the price of 1. Who doesn't love that? Let's spin the wheel. Thanks for hanging in there, Shayna. Did you ever get a chance to watch the Jon Stewart Daily Show? I think we're pretty close in age. I love that show so much. Acapella, let's see if I can redeem myself a little bit. I'm going to do a song I know I can do well, so I don't feel like a dip. Wrong button. Here we go. Let's see. Shayna is here. I think Stephanie's still here. Let's find a song that's appropriate for him. Let's do need a lot more songs. These are all the ones I know. Let's do Young at Heart. I beg your pardon for that sniffing in the microphone. That was terrible. Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. For it's hard you will find to be narrow of mind if you're young at heart. You can go to extremes with impossible schemes. You can laugh when your dreams fall apart at the seams. And life gets better with each passing day. And love is either in your heart or on its way. Don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth to be young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, think of all you'll derive out of being alive. And here is the best part, you have a head start if you are among the very young at heart. I love that song. Good question. Forget the wheel. Let's go back to the chat. Oh, I could talk intelligently about this one. All right. Shayna asked me a question that I love to answer. Who is my favorite late night talk show host currently and of all time? I think you've been in my home, Shayna. You've been in there at least once to use the bathroom. I have a wall, and that wall is covered by the Pyramid of Heroes, starting at the top and working the way down, starting at the top with Johnny Carson, all the way down to the bottom to Bill Cosby, who's been demoted several times. Let's see. My favorite of all time was Johnny. I love Johnny Carson. I took his name. I loved the show. Loved the way he made the guests look good. Loved how much he laughed and how warm and friendly he seemed. I loved how he could make bad material work. I really enjoyed how, especially near the end, he would deliberately do jokes that he knew would bomb so that he could just distill himself in that bombing. I love Johnny. After Johnny comes Dave, as it always should be. Love Dave. Love Dave Letterman. I have seen as many of the episodes of his show as I can. A lot of them are on YouTube. Like I said, I'm watching them constantly now. I love Dave. He really helped define my sense of humor. Jon Stewart. No, actually Conan. I watched a lot of Conan, and then Jon Stewart, then Stephen Colbert, and then John Oliver. Those are my favorites in order. I got to get Seth Meyers up there. I've started watching Seth Meyers for his desk pieces. He does You Burnt, which I love. He does really good monologue in a Weekend Update style, where he's got the little graphic up here, and he's doing the joke straight to the camera. He features his writers. They all seem to love each other, which I love to see in a television show. It's a fantastic, fantastic show. I love Seth Meyers. He's, let's see, favorite currently. John Oliver counts. It's definitely John Oliver. Conan's out of the business. So yeah, I'd say Seth Meyers is my favorite late night guy. I love Colbert, but I loved him when he did the Colbert Report. When he started doing the main show, the late show, it got a little bit, it lost a lot of its edge, and I didn't enjoy it as much. I want to, because I love him, but I just haven't enjoyed the show. So Seth, thanks for asking. What about you? What do you like to watch? Where do you get your comedy monologues? You really do need to see. Man, The Daily Show with Jon Stewart was such a fantastic piece of writing. It was just a great show. Great show with great people, brilliantly produced. Oh, and I learned how to run a show from watching documentaries about the show with Jon Stewart. He's the person who said a writer's room cannot be a democracy. The only way a writer's room works is if it's either a benign or a benevolent dictator. And then he listens to everybody else. So that's how it's got to be. That's how Jon Stewart does it, and that's how I want to do it. I love Jon Stewart. All right. He doesn't have a show anymore. He had one on Apple TV for a while, which was good. Bit long for my taste, but good. So I don't know what he's going to do next. That show didn't get picked up. But whatever he does, I'll be there because he's one of my heroes. Jimmy Fallon. Nice. A lot of people love the Jimmy Fallon. Lots of games. You never know what to expect. And he's a genuinely charming, warm person. I don't watch the show that much because just anybody who's not Johnny on The Tonight Show just makes me mad, except Conan. I watched that week. But anywho, yeah. Jimmy does great work. All right, let's spin the wheel. I like the thank you notes. That's a good desk piece. Whoops. Wrong button. Always like to see Jimmy Fallon at the Thanksgiving parade. He really gives his all. I admire that. Ooh, another joke. Why not? To the comedy club. Already did that one. Got it. 3 old guys are out walking. First one says, windy, isn't it? Second one says, No, it's Thursday. Third one says, so am I. Let's get a beer. That's a double. I enjoyed that one. One more time. A man was telling his neighbor, I just bought a new hearing aid. It cost me $4,000, but it's state of the art. It's perfect. Really? Answered the neighbor. What kind is it? 1230. Nice. All right. Spin the wheel some more. I got to go down the rabbit hole and look at some old Steve Allen stuff. See if I can't see some Jack Parr Tonight shows, you know? There's still lots to be learned. Ooh, a poem. Let's go do a poem. Think we got some more shell? Excellent. This is The Planet of Mars by Shel Silverstein. On the planet of Mars, they have clothes just like ours. They have the same laces, and they have the same charms and the same graces, and they have the same heads and the same faces, but not in the very same places. Nice. Another one? You got it. This is It's Dark in Here by Shel Silverstein. I am writing these poems from inside a lion, and it's rather dark in here. So please excuse the handwriting, which may not be too clear. But this afternoon by the lion's cage, I'm afraid I got too near. And I'm writing these lines from inside a lion, and it's rather dark in here. One more? All right. This morning, my old Jack-in-the-Box popped out and wouldn't get back in the box. He cried, hey, there's a tack in the box, and it's cutting me through and through. There's also a crack in the box. And I never find a smack in the box, and sometimes I hear a quack in the box, 'cause a duck lives in here too. Complain is all he did. I finally had to close the lid. Shel Silverstein rules. All right, back to the chat. Oh, here's something exciting, Shana. You'll be thrilled about this. You'll actually care. I used to do a talk show called Crazy Late with Johnny Millwater. So I have all the forms and all the know-how to run the writer's room and put the show together. I've decided that in April of this year, April or May, I'm going to produce an episode of Crazy Late with Jordan Sentry as the host. I know he's got several suits, and the man was born to be on TV. So we're going to try to do let's not call it that. We're going to shoot an episode of Crazy Late starring Jordan Sentry, using the local writers from the table here. And we're still trying to figure out desk pieces. I'm hoping to get Christine involved. I think she could do a really, really good desk piece. And that's something exciting that I'm working on for the coming months. So you can look forward to that. I hope you'll be there. All right. Thank you, notes. Spin the wheel. And doesn't look, here we go. Finally, a monologue. Let us go to the theater. I downloaded, regular viewer Tony Knuckles asked for me to perform the monologue from the beginning of Patton. And by finding that, I found a website called American Rhetoric, and I found a whole bunch of really, really good monologues from films. So I would like to perform one of those for you right now. Let's do Greed is Good from Wall Street, Lincoln, Danville Plainview, God Complex, Lincoln, orientation speech from Cool Man Luke. Oh, this is exciting stuff. Let's do some stand-up. I'm going to do some Norm. Renee. Oh, of course, yes. Wait, let's talk about that in a minute. Hold on. We want to dive right into that. Let's do Have You Ever Been Wrong? All right, this is a darker piece, also by Norm Macdonald, but I listen to it all the time. I love it. I hope you enjoy it too. But first, let's talk about this. She loves Jimmy Fallon. Her thank you notes is one of her favorite parts of the show, too. And right below that, she is so, how about that? Let's read this properly from the beginning. Jimmy Fallon reminds me of SNL, and that reminds me to give a big shout out to Renee Rapp, who was my former kindergarten student, and she's going to be the musical guest on the next episode of SNL on January 20th. Very, very exciting as far as I'm concerned. That's the height of fame in show business, and I could not be more thrilled for you and for all of her fans. So keep an eye out for Renee Rapp. That's so exciting. I'd be proud of her too if I knew her. I'll just be a fan. How about that? Congratulations to you both. All right, this is by Norm Macdonald. Trigger warning. He's talking about ending his life. Okay. But that's the kind of comedy I really, really enjoy. It's the toughest, so I hope you enjoy it. Have you ever been wrong? You know, my friend is a vegetarian, and have you ever been wrong and you suddenly realize, you know, like, because all her arguments are right about vegetarianism. She'll go like, how can you kill an animal when you get the same from the grass of the field? It makes no sense. And then I go, I like pork. So, of course, she's right, and I'm wrong. And it's weird when you realize you've been wrong about everything that you ever believed. Well, about vegetarianism, not everything. Imagine if you woke up and you realized you were wrong about everything. You just woke up and you go, God damn, I have been wrong about every single thing I've ever believed. Then it's time to go down to the rope store, in my opinion, because it's not going to get better, you know. Go down to the rope store. That's my suggestion to you, and get yourself a hunk of rope about this big, and then you go to the rickety stool store. And listen, it's no coincidence that the rope store and the rickety stool store are always right beside each other, all right? I don't want to get political or anything like that, but you know, when people commit suicide, no one ever understands. You know what I mean? Like, people commit suicide, and people go, oh, I don't understand why. And I go, you don't? What, do you live in a cotton candy house or something? What the fuck? You don't know about life? How it only disappoints and gets worse and worse until it ends in a catastrophe? What the fuck? There's two reasons. There's two reasons guys will hang themselves from the neck. One is, like we said, to escape this worthless masquerade of a life we pretend we have. And the second reason we hang ourselves, these guys, to jerk off. These guys, I don't understand. It's called autoerotic asphyxiation. It's a big fancy word, but it's a filthy thing. And this is my problem with it. The risk reward, it's not good. And I know the reward because I read about it. Apparently, by cutting off the oxygen or something like that, you increase your orgasm until it's 1.5 times as powerful as the one you had the Thursday before last. Is that really that important? I mean, we have a lot of things going on in this country, you know. It's raining in the forest. There's all kinds of shit we have to think about, let alone whacking off. That's our big problem. But the risk, good Lord. People always wonder, what happens after you die? No one knows, you know. People pretend to know, but no one knows what happens after you die. But I know what happens to you right after you die. I know what happens directly after you die. You are found. And this is where it gets tricky. And it's always by a loved one, you know. You don't want your son walking in going, ah, what the fuck? What the fuck kind of man is, huh? And that's how you'll be remembered forever, you know? It doesn't matter what else you accomplish in life. You see, people are under the misapprehension that their life is like a motion picture and will be remembered as such, but it's not. It's just a photograph, you know? A still photograph. That's unfortunately how it is. But you know, like you think your son will remember you as like, oh, I remember my dad took me to Disneyland in a blistering heat, and by God, he stood in line to get Mickey Mouse's autograph. Took him 2 hours. It was for me. He knew it wasn't the real Mickey Mouse. He had to have. It was some unemployed college kid, and yet he stayed. Stayed for me. Dad. He had 2 jobs, you know, to put food on my plate and my brother's and my mom's. 2 jobs. And I remember one time, I'll never forget it. He came home late at night, and I was in bed. I was pretending to be asleep, but I wasn't. And he came in, and he was very quiet, and he came up to me, and he kissed me on that area between my forehead and the bridge of my nose. He kissed me, and he said quietly, so as not to wake me, "I love you, son." And then he left. And the next day, I wanted to say something to him at breakfast table, but he was already out. He was driving hack. That was his second job. But my God, my dad. Anyways, they don't remember that. All they remember is, "Ah!" Unfortunately, that's the way human beings are. I think if I were to do it, I don't think I ever would, but you never know. You can't predict the future. I could wake up one day and go, "I want to have one of them orgasms. That's 3 over 2 times as strong as the..." I knew that advanced math degree would come in handy, but I did not know when. This is what I would do if it ever happened to me. I would disguise it so it looked like an actual suicide. Because then, when I was found, my son wouldn't go, "Ah!" He'd go, oh, mysterious. Dad's a mysterious guy. This is going to be a pretty good story for me. So I would pretend, that it was a real suicide. Like I would write a note, a suicide note. Hey, do you think this would be funny? Like just a practical joke? If you just wrote a suicide note and just blamed some random guy? You think that would be, you know what I mean? Like, your barber or something like that. You go, "It was all Ralph Abernathy's fault." Because the police would be compelled to go to Abernathy's barbershop and go, "Have you ever heard of a fella by the name of Norm MacDonald?" And the guy goes, yeah, he'd come in every couple of months for a trim. Well, he took his life because of you. He wrote it in this note. Here, if would you like to keep the... Then Ralph Abernathy would have to spend the rest of his life walking down the street. Life's hard enough without having to walk. That's not a good practical joke. I should never have framed that as a good practical joke because it's probably the worst practical joke, It's kind of the practical joke that gets you raped by the devil for all of time. There you go. There's some Norm Macdonald monologue for you. Let's spin the wheel. Hooray for Renee. It's time for a poem. Back to the Poetry Corner. This is Invention by Shel Silverstein. I've done it! I've done it! Guess what I've done? Invented a light that plugs into the sun. The sun is bright enough, the bulb is strong enough, but there's only one thing. The cord ain't long enough. Nice. Another one? You got it. Excuse me. This is Who by Shel Silverstein. Who can kick a football from here out to Afghanistan? I can. Who fought tigers in the street while all the policemen ran and hid? I did. Who will fly and have X-ray eyes and be known as the man no bullet can kill? I will. Who can sit and tell lies all night? I might. Fun. Back to spin the wheel. Oh, wait, Chet. Let's talk. I found my mom's body after she committed suicide, and the image still traumatizes me sometimes, even 12 years later. But I choose to remember for the amazing, wonderful, loving mother that she was. Sorry again if that is not too much that is not too much information. I'm terribly sorry, and I won't make that mistake again. I'm so sorry, Shayna. Didn't mean to put you through that. Let's move on to happy thoughts. Let's find something more cheerful. I had no idea. I'm so sorry. I had known that your parents had passed. I did not know how. Joke. That'll cheer things up. Let's find something light. To the comedy club. An 82-year-old man named Morris went to the doctor to get a physical. A few days later, the doctor saw Morris walking down the street with a gorgeous young woman on his arm. A couple days after that, the doctor spoke to Morris and said, "You're really doing great, aren't you?" Morris replied, "Just doing what you said, Doc. Get a hot mama and be cheerful." The doctor said, I didn't say that. I said, you've got a heart murmur. Be careful." Nice. One more. Here we go. A little old man shuffles painfully into an ice cream parlor and pulls himself slowly, carefully onto a stool. After catching his breath, he orders a banana split. The waitress asks kindly, "Crushed nuts?" "No," he replied, "arthritis." Nice. All right, let's spin the wheel. That'll lighten things up. Well, it was certainly pertinent to the discussion. It's very important to know, and I thank you for telling me. Let's go to the campfire. We're making our way through the Zen koans, which are teaching tools to learn Zen Buddhism. We are currently, I believe, on number 10. Let's see. Okay. Man, worst case scenario. All right, let's do this Zen koan. Love you, Shane. I'm so sorry. Here we go. Let's do this for the nice folks on the Tickety Talks. This is Zen koan number 10, the last poem of Hoshin. The Zen master Hoshin lived in China many years. Then he returned to the northeastern part of Japan, where he taught his disciples. When he was getting very old, he told them a story he had heard in China. This is the story. One year, on the 25th of December, Tokufu, who was very old, said to his disciples, "I am not going to be alive next year, so you fellows should treat me well this year." The pupils thought he was joking. But since he was a great-hearted teacher, each of them, in turn, treated him to a feast on succeeding days of the departing year. On the eve of the new year, Tokufu concluded, "You have been good to me. I shall leave tomorrow afternoon when the snow has stopped." The disciples laughed, thinking he was aging and talking nonsense, since the night was clear and without snow. But at midnight, snow began to fall, and the next day they did not find their teacher. They went to the meditation hall. There he had passed on. Hoshin, who related this story, told his disciples, "It is not necessary for a Zen master to predict his passing, but it is, if he really wishes to do so, he can." "Can you?" someone asked. "Yes," answered Hoshin. "I will show you what I can do 7 days from now." None of the disciples believed him, and most of them had even forgotten the conversation. When Hoshin called them together, "7 days ago," he remarked, "I said I was going to leave you. It is customary to write a farewell poem, but I am neither a poet or a calligrapher. Let one of you inscribe my last words." His followers thought he was joking, but one of them started to write. "Are you ready?" Hoshin asked. "Yes, sir," replied the writer. Then Hoshin dictated, "I came from brilliancy and return to brilliancy." What is this? This line was one line short of the customary poem. So the disciple said, "Master, we are one line short." Hoshin, with the roar of a conquering lion, shouted, "Caw!" and was gone. It said, "Caw!" That's what it said. All right, let's spin the wheel. Hey, hold on. Check, Shelley. Shana said, "I did want to mention that your Sunday show is uplifting for me," which is fantastic news, and I really look forward to it. Appreciate what you were doing. I appreciate you, Shana. I try to, whenever you're here, I try to do things that I think you'll enjoy. The darker stand-up pieces are very comforting to me. Obviously, it's not that way for everybody. But thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this time with me. It's really great to see you smile, and your kind words and positive attitude make me smile too. Oh, you're the greatest, Shana. Thank you very much. Let's have some more fun. We're almost done, I think. Let's spin the wheel. I think we're almost out of time. Yep. Got time for one more poem, I think. Let's do one more poem just for Shana. One more Shel Silverstein. Thanks for hanging in there. This is I Must Remember by Shel Silverstein. I must remember. Turkey on Thanksgiving, pudding on Christmas, eggs on Easter, chicken on Sunday, fish on Friday, leftovers Monday, but oh, I'm such a dunce. I went and ate them all at once. Scale. Scale by Shel Silverstein. If I could only see the scale, I'm sure that it would state that I've lost ounces, maybe pounds, or even tons of weight. You'd better eat some pancakes. You're skinny as a rail. I'm sure that's what the scale would say, if I could see the scale. Nice. One more, Light in the Attic. This is the all-time classic. There's a light on in the attic, though the house is dark and shuttered. I can see it a flickering and flutter, and I know what it's about. There's a light on in the attic. I can see it from the outside, and I know you're on the inside, looking out. Lovely. All right, let's call it a night. Back to the desk. There we go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had some fun. Try to keep things positive. If you have anything that you'd like to see me perform, if you have any good poems or songs or stand-up comedy bits or speeches or monologues, you know how to reach me. Thanks for sharing today with me. I hope to see you again real soon. And remember, the only way to save this country is for all of us to love one another. So love yourself first. You deserve it. Then love somebody else. Then, if you can, love everybody. That's what I'm trying to do. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep shining through just like you always do, and the blue skies will push the dark clouds far away. And would you please say hello to the folks that I know, and tell 'em I won't be long. You'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Merry Christmas. Thanks for spending time with me, and until next time, be good, but not too good. Bye for now.